Welcome back, everyone. I just wanted to show you a couple of the nuts and bolts of kind of how to navigate the course, also different things that are going to be expected of you. I call this the hot syllabus talk. We're going to talk a little bit about Canvas as well. So the first thing that I would do if I were you, first of all, make sure that you can log into Canvas. If you need help with that, I've got a bunch of resources that I can put in your way. And one of the first things I would do is I would click on this little account button for yourself. And I would click on this notifications tab. When you click on that, see something that looks a little bit like this. You'll see all these different ways that you can notify yourself of changes in the class. The one thing that I'd really recommend is that you click this little green checkbox next to the announcements tab. This is going to allow you to be notified right away anytime I make an announcement. And this is going to be pretty much the main way that I communicate with the entire class. If you'd like to, you can also enter your cell phone number. I don't think you can be a Verizon customer, but with that one caveat, you can also enter your cell number and it'll send you automatic pushes and things like that, and you can configure that. One thing about these submission comments, I've in the past often missed them. So one of the things that I'd really recommend you do, instead of trying to communicate to me through the submission comments, I would actually just click over here on the inbox and send me an actual Canvas message. A lot of these other things are just kind of up to you, however you learn best. But those are kind of two things that I just wanted to mention right away here. So when you kind of go back to the main course page, we'll hopefully see something that looks like this. One of the things that we're going to be talking about is the syllabus, so probably it'd be a good idea for you to download your own copy of the syllabus. That's going to be under, obviously, the syllabus tab. And there's going to be two kind of clickable sites right here. One is for the up-to-date syllabus, which we're going to be talking about in just a second. And this is going to be the weekly lecture and lab schedule, just so that you have some idea what's coming at you. So when you click on this link, it should allow you to download the syllabus. If the hamsters that I believe are inside of my computer are operating properly, you guys should be able to download this pretty easily and end up with something that looks like this. As I said, we're going to go through painfully each of these sections, but they're super important just because this 4-week term comes at you so quick. Oh, incidentally, I would make sure that I looked at the welcome video. It's like a 6-minute video watching a guy not stare at the screen, but it'll definitely kind of give you a real brief introduction to the course if you haven't looked at that yet. So, my name, Sean Breslin. You can call me whatever you want. Just don't make me cry. I cry really easily. My email, I'm kind of required to put this here, but I really don't suggest you use this email. I really would like to see Canvas messaging. One of the things that's true, especially now, is that there are just so many emails we get. It's really hard to kind of filter through everything. If you if you message me by Canvas, I can promise you that I'll get back to you in 24 to 48 hours, hopefully closer to the 24 than the 48. Silly things here. Also, office phone number. Again, I'm required to give you that. I'm not going to be in my office too often, especially since I'm pretty sure they turned off the air conditioning and it's the middle of summer in Roseburg. Office location. Again, not really too helpful to you. One thing that's definitely going to be helpful to you all is this little thing right here. So even though you're pretty much at your leisure as in terms of when you view the videos that are released in the class, I do offer a bunch of Zoom office hours. I've used to lecture on Zoom and I never thought it was very effective. And so if you are somebody that really thinks it's effective and really want to see a couple of lectures by Zoom and we could all meet together, just let me know and I can certainly organize something. But what I kind of envision for this class is that you all view the video lectures that are released daily, and you do a couple of different activities to kind of prepare and to summarize them each day. And then these online office hours are just that. They're there for you to kind of maybe come in, ask me a couple of questions, maybe meet a couple other people that happen to be there at the same time. And these times that I came up with just kind of work with my schedule. If there are changes you'd like to see, again, please just let me know. But as of right now, the Mondays and Wednesdays, 9 to 10 a.m. And then there's actually two sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays, one from 8 to 9 a.m. and another from 5 to 6 p.m. And I'm going to go through how to set up Zoom, or at least give you some instructions kind of down below here as we keep talking. A lot of this other stuff is, again, just kind of stuff that you already know. One thing that I've got a few questions about are how exactly these labs are going to work. Well, basically, you're going to be working at home on a little of the lab activities. Most of the materials are going to be available in that little box that should have been sent to you. I think it was like $30 or something like that, your little at-home lab kit. The important thing to recognize that along with all of our fun lecture talk, also on Mondays and Tuesdays and some Wednesdays by 9 a.m., I'm going to post these online labs. And as we'll see in a second, these are always kind of due 1 week from when I release them. A couple of good things. In this class, the lecture textbook is available for free online. Hopefully, the only thing that you guys had to pay for was your at-home lab kit. There is no lab textbook. I'll provide you all labs as a Canvas download. You guys know most of this because you're here now. This next section, the special note to students, I think is kind of helpful because it just kind of puts everything in one place in terms of what to expect on given days. As I said, all days have those virtual office hours with the two sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to really try hard to do kind of just like a welcome video to each week, or kind of like an overview video of each week that I'll post by 9 a.m. on Mondays. All the class video lectures, I'm really going to try hard to post them all by 9 a.m. Keep in mind you have like a new batch every day. In just a second, we're going to go through these in a lot more detail here, but keep in mind that every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you're always going to have some sort of what's called a lecture warm-up. Keep in mind these are supposed to be kind of preparatory in that, like, I really want you to read the textbook and kind of come to the video lectures with a certain amount of information. Those are always going to be due before 9 a.m., right? That doesn't mean you need to wake up at 8 o'clock or 8:30 to search Google for the answers, but what it does mean is that kind of on a particular day, you do have to make sure that you turn that in beforehand. I'm always going to make them active. Let's say that we're looking for a lecture warm-up for a particular Monday. By the way, there's none today because we're just starting. But after today's, I would say around like 10 a.m., I'm going to post Tuesdays lecture warm up so that you guys can kind of at your leisure read the textbook pages and be ready for tomorrow. And I'm going to try to keep that as like a general procedure. Another thing which you expect to do every single day is this celebration of new knowledge, which is just my passive aggressive way of saying, hey, watch the videos and take this little quiz to make sure that you watch the videos. They're always going to be due by 11:59 that night. Again, those things are activated with the video lecture links. As for that, days are all going to be kind of the same in terms of what to expect. One thing that I just remembered, I am going to activate a little Dropbox for the waiver that you're going to find in your lab kit. If you could just sign that as kind of like your first assignment. Before I can start accepting any labs from you guys, I need to have a signed waiver. You can just take a picture with your phone or a screenshot of your screen, and then just sign it in some way just so that I have it on hand. Basically, don't feed it to your animals, anything that you find in the lab kit. Don't eat it yourself. Those kinds of things. Don't let your kids try to light your house on fire, but that's always a good thing. And so when we get to Friday here, keep in mind that we don't have class on Friday, thank God. But what you will have, because I don't want you to miss me, is this online lecture quiz. That's just going to be kind of more for you to make sure that you got everything you needed to get out of the lectures. for that particular week. And it also really helps you to study for the next exam. And exams are always going to occur on Mondays. And as I said, we're going to talk about exams specifically in just a second. These next couple of sections are important, but I'm not going to insult your intelligence by reading them to you. It's basically what you're going to learn. And also silly things like what you're going to be graded on. There are all the different things that you're going to be graded on. That's a lot for 4 weeks. And one of the important things is, even though that we're going to kind of summarize all of these different assignment categories, each one of these has a particular section listed in order underneath in the syllabus here that, like I said, we're just going to summarize, but it really is to your advantage to kind of read all the nitty gritty. And those of you that are concerned about grades, it's going to be a pretty, similar to things you've ever seen before. 90 and above it is an A, 80 to 89 is a B. If there's any kind of need to curve anything, or if I just totally drop the ball in terms of like how hard an exam is, usually I'll just kind of like kick everybody up so that they're kind of in this general range here. Regarding incomplete work, please make sure that everything you submit to me is completed. One thing that really sticks in my craw is anytime you submit a file that's not at least attempted. So I always reserve the right to not grade it. Assignment categories. Well, we talked a little bit about those warm-up activities. Those guys are going to be about 5 points a piece. You're going to have them pretty much every single day. They're always due before that particular lecture at 9 a.m. Celebrations of new knowledge. Again, we talked about those. And something else that you'll get every single day, with the exception of the days where we have some sort of test due. Those things are always going to be due by midnight. So, for example, you will have one tonight, a celebration of new knowledge. And in just a second, I'll also show you the Canvas site where a lot of these guys are really well organized and you can find them. Online lecture quizzes, we also talked about those. Those are going to occur on Fridays. I think they're 15 points. They'll open Friday morning and then promptly close at midnight. Homework in the class is going to be due on Thursday at midnight. And kind of the idea I had with this one is I'll post a homework set having to do with all the stuff that we were supposed to talk about that week. And then you'll do it kind of over the course of the week. I would really recommend you kind of keep going back to it instead of trying to do it like I used to do in a jam session and then just forget everything the very next day. The reason I really want this thing due Thursday at midnight is because if Friday morning I'm going to post an answer key, and it's really going to help you guys to study for exams. Now, we already talked a little bit about those at-home labs. For the very first lab, I'll likely post kind of just a real quick description about what to expect from lab. It's going to be, that's kind of the place where you guys are really guinea pigs because I've never done this before. And one of the things that is important to recognize is that, first of all, what labs you're going to be doing in a particular week. And so in order to do that, I'm going to go to that weekly schedule that is available on Canvas. I think I showed you guys how to access that. It's right underneath where you downloaded the syllabus. What you'll see is something that looks like this. This is just a summary of different topics we'll talk about during a week. Holy cow, look at how fast this is coming at you. Also, there are the exam days. So the very first exam is going to be on the 13th. Your next exam is on the 20th. And then you have the final exam on that last day, the 30th. And we'll talk, like I keep saying, about exams in just a second. The other important thing that you'll see here is also the laboratory schedule by week. Keep in mind, I'm going to post all these guys to the Canvas webpage, and they're always due in a week. This is just kind of giving you some idea of the types of labs that you're going to be doing. Not all of them will be from the kit. Like, for instance, this one is something that I filmed for you. It's me doing some actual lab work. And it'll be fun to watch a guy pour stuff and filter stuff. But that's what all that is. So even though this class comes at you a mile a minute and we'll be doing all kinds of crazy stuff in like really condensed time frames, one thing that you'll be happy to know is that all exams and makeups are going to be open book and open note. Honestly, I don't know that we even need makeups given that. They're designed to be completed in approximately 50 minutes. The way that I've done these in the past is that I would kind of upload, let's say on a Monday morning by 9 a.m., an exam that you're going to be working on throughout the day. And you're absolutely allowed to look at old video lectures and look at your notes and whatever resources you've kind of have at your disposal. You're more than welcome to use those. I'd prefer that you don't just Google random internet stuff. A lot of the stuff that we talk about, one of the things you'll notice about chemistry is there's a lot of bad stuff on the internet. So I would warn you about that, to just like blindly Google an answer, because usually it's going to be wrong. And keep in mind, I also tend to ask questions that are wrong on the internet because I am that kind of mean guy. Okay, so if you need any kind of help setting up Zoom, there's two really helpful videos that I put here. Really important things, any of you that have been forced to ride the god-awful Zoom train, is that every single meeting has a different ID. The one thing that I've tried to limit is the number of like silly sequences of numbers that we have to plug in. Each of the different sessions, Monday, Wednesday morning, Tuesday, Thursday morning, and Tuesday, Thursday late afternoon, they all have their own meeting ID. The same password should work for every single one of those. And keep in mind, perfectly optional, but I'd love to meet you. Definitely makes my life a heck of a lot easier. If it's more helpful, there's also these invites that you can just kind of copy and paste into your favorite browser. And that should lead you directly there once you've downloaded Zoom. Class announcements, we've already talked about. These things are going to be all on Canvas. It really is a good idea to check daily, especially in a class that moves this fast. Again, different things that I'm required to put in here about college policies and resources. You can read these at your leisure. Two things that I think are pretty important is kind of finding additional help, especially in times of coronavirus, and also in terms of like how to do different e-learning. So I've included those there. And of course, any kind of like accessibility concerns, please make sure that you inform me. Anyway, let's take a look at Canvas. So by this talk and my melodious droning, you're probably thinking, oh my God, there's so much going on. It's 4 weeks. Oh my God, how the heck am I going to keep this all organized? Well, it turns out that if you can make your way to Canvas and click on this modules tab, everything that you're going to need to do in here is going to be organized by week. So for instance, here's week 1. You'll see all those warm-ups that I'm going to be doing before all the lectures. These things won't be accessible. For instance, the warm-up for lecture 3 won't be accessible until sometime in the afternoon Monday, or unless I've screwed something up. The daily lecture videos and celebrations of new knowledge are all going to be right under here. Hopefully this is where you found Mondays, and you're also hopefully going to find that celebration of new knowledge. Lecture PowerPoints, these things are really going to be supplemental. I'll use these PowerPoints sometimes, and sometimes I'll do kind of like what I call a chalk talk, although I guess in my basement it's more like a marker talk. So you'll see that in one of the video lectures from either today or tomorrow. Another thing which would really help students, especially in these online times, are these different things which I call resource guides. These are the equivalent of just handouts that I'd give you in class that really help to organize some of the lecture material. I don't know about you, but I tend to zone out the second that somebody talks to me more than 5 minutes. So if that's you, by the way, I have a little smattering of ADD, which makes this particularly fun for you and for me. So anyway, check those guys out. It's nothing that you guys have to do, but it's certainly something that can definitely help you learn. Homework, well, we already talked about that. That's listed here. Tells you the due date, how much it's worth. When you click on this, you'll see selections from the lecture textbook. Keep in mind that lecture textbook is free online. If you'd like a paper copy, I'm pretty sure the bookstore can send you one. But that is what all these different sections and numbers correspond to. Of course, if you have a question, just let me know. Other things that you'll find on here, different labs that you'll have to print out. Like here's our very first lab that'll be due next Monday, that you'll want to do at home. Also on Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm going to post some other things that go here. And if there's ever a time where people can't figure out what the heck do I do with this silly little thing, this silvery thing in my lab kit, is it important? Am I supposed to use it somewhere? I'll give you kind of like little instructions here. And this particular week, obviously we're just getting started here, so there's no lab reports due this week, but next week there'll be 3 on that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And they'll be listed here as well. So I think that covers just about everything having to do with the kind of nuts and bolts of the class. So the very next video is going to be talking about the good stuff. We're going to be talking about chemical and physical changes. And hopefully also either today or tomorrow, I'll post another video having to do with the 3 ways of understanding chemistry and the study of matter. Okay, talk to you again soon.